Hello and very welcome everyone to this session of the Modern History Previous Year Questions, Part 13. In today's session, we are going to discuss once again the things related to modern history, the question that has been asked earlier, and we will also see the type of question that can come in the upcoming exams. We will also look after the things that are relevant with the history. We will see that what are the type of things we can understand from these questions and update in our notebook. So let's start. So these are the topics I got covered for you in this session. So I have got Rowlatt Act, Jallianwala Bagh massacre. So questions related to both of these topics will be there. Before we start, the images used in our slide deck are for educational purpose only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and owners of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this deck and have any concerns or issues, please contact us at sathi@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. So let's start our session. So first question that we have, which of the following did Rowlatt Act 1919 entail? So particularly the question is asking you that among the following options, which of the following was the part of this act? So options are ban on Indian goods, indefinite detention without trial, and third is open fire and lathi charge on Indians, and the fourth one is levying of heavy taxes. So kind of simple question this is. If you know a little bit about this act, so try to give the answer. And I guess, as always, you have figured out the answer. The answer is indefinite detention without trial and charges. So, the main provision of the Rowlatt Act advises the arrest and deportation of any person on mere suspicion of sedition and revolt, the trial of those arrested by special tribunal specialized for the purpose, and the declaration of possession of treasonable literature as a punishable offense. Rowlatt Act, Anarchical and Revolutionary Crimes Act of 1919 was legislated by British to discourage Indians from rising against them. So this act was brought into India after the First World War, as the First World War was ended, and Indians were in hope that there would be something good for them as they have helped the Britishers. But in respect of the help, we got the Rowlatt Act, under which particularly all the particular any type of person who is doing anything against the British government at that time, so they will be charged and they will be punished without any trial or something. And one more thing that you can add into that, particularly a lot of leaders in Punjab and other regions were arrested on the basis of this Rowlatt Act. So remember, the answer is indefinite detention without trial. With which of the following is the comment no dalil, no vakil, no appeal associated? Very good question this is. Options are Charter Act, Rowlatt Act, Regulating Act, Pitt's India Act. So I guess you must have heard about this phrase no dalil, no vakil, no appeal. And the answer is once again Rowlatt Act. So Rowlatt Act said that any Indian could be detained without trial. This was preventive detention, meaning that the government would hold any citizen in jail without any crime having been committed. Essentially, it means that if someone inside the government suspects that a citizen might commit a crime later, the citizen can be put in jail. Indians were outraged by such a law, and one Lahore newspaper described the Rowlatt Act with the headline No Dalil, No Vakil, No Appeal. And the famous arrest that was done in Punjab was the Saifuddin Kishlu and Dr. Satyapal. Both were arrested, and in respect of that, the Sabha was organized in Jallianwala Bagh on 13th April 1919 when the Regnal Dyer particularly created chaos after ordering for shootout. In which year was the Satyagraha against the Rowlatt Act called by Mahatma Gandhi? Options are 1922, 1920, 1919, 1921. Try to think about it. So I guess the answer you are looking for is correct because the answer is 1919. So as soon as Rowlatt Act came, Mahatma Gandhi declared Satyagraha against the Rowlatt Act, And on 6th April 1919, Mahatma Gandhi started a non-violent satyagraha against the unjust Rowlatt Act passed by the British government. This act was termed as the Black Act by the Indian public because of its unjust and restrictive nature. And a newspaper called it No Dalil, No Vakil, No Appeal Act. And as I said, Dr. Saifuddin Kishlu and Dr. Satyapal were arrested. And because of that, a particular meeting was organized in Jallianwala Bagh on 13th April 1919 when the massacre of Jallianwala Bagh was done. And after that, basically, the non-cooperation movement came after that particular incident. Non-cooperation movement came after almost 1 year after that incident. Against which act Mahatma Gandhi asked people to observe 6 April 1919 as a day of non-violence opposition. Arms Act 1959, Vernacular Press Act 1878, Rowlatt Act 1919, Charter Act 1813. I guess if this type of question and these type of options will be there, then you can easily use your common sense. So that use your common sense and try to find out the answer. So I guess the answer you are looking for by just using the common sense is quite there. So the answer is Rowlatt Act 1990. So Rowlatt Act was an act which would detain any Indian person without trial, even he has not committed any crime. So against this Rowlatt Act, Mahatma Gandhi asked people to observe April 1919 as a day of non-violence opposition. The Satyagraha Sabha was founded in February 1919 by Abdul Ghaffar Khan, Motilal Nehru, Subhash Chandra Bose, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Try to think about it. So we know that in 1990 Satyagraha was declared by Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. So Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi began a crusade against the Rowlatt Act and set up Satyagraha Sabha on 24th February 1919 at Bombay. Rowlatt Act empowered the British government to suspend the right of habeas corpus. One more thing that you can add in this that the Rowlatt Act and Satyagraha Sabha was organized when the Viceroy of India at that time was Lord Chelmsford. So, do remember Satyagraha Sabha was founded in February 1919 by Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Against which act did Gandhiji decide to fight and start a satyagraha? Options are in front of you, and I think you don't require any hint or any something particular help of me. So try to think about it. I guess the answer you are looking for is there, and the answer is Rowlatt Act 1990. So Mahatma Gandhi decided to launch a nationwide satyagraha against the proposed Rowlatt Act. The act gave powers to the police to arrest any person without any reason. The purpose of the act was to curb the growing nationalist upsurge in the country. So, do remember the answer is Rowlatt Act 1919. Against this, the Gandhiji decided to fight and start a satyagraha. Which one of the following was a measure taken again under the Rowlatt Act? Restriction on wearing khadi, forced to buy Indian foreign goods, imprisonment without trial, restrictions on traveling abroad. So, try to think. We have already done a lot of questions. I don't think that this question will make any um, worry to you. And the answer is simple because we have already done this type of question already. So answer is imprisonment without trial. So Rowlatt Act gave the British government power to suppress the political activities. Political leaders can be arrested and kept in prison without trial for 2 years. This act was passed by the British government in 1919 during the First World War, or you can say after the First World War, when they particularly also brought the Government of India Act 1919, that was also known as Montague Chelmsford Reforms. This act is also known as the Black Act. Rowlatt Act was passed in dash 1920, 1922, 1919, 1921. Very easy question. And I think you are right because the answer is 1919. So, Rowlatt Act was enacted in order to control public unrest and root out conspiracy based on the recommendation of Sedition Committee chaired by Sir Ridley Rowlatt. This act was passed in March 1919 by the Imperial Legislative Council, which gave British power to arrest any person without any trial. This act was called the Black Act by Mahatma Gandhi. So, do remember the answer is 1919. When did the British government pass the notorious Rowlatt Act? The act allowed political detention without trial. Options are in front of you. Take your time. And the answer is 1919. So, Rowlatt Act was enacted in order to control public unrest and root out conspiracy based on the recommendation of Sedition Committee chaired by Sir Sidney Rowlatt. So, remember what was the name of the person? Sidney Rowlatt. This act was passed in March 1919 by the Imperial Legislative Council, which gave Britishers power to arrest any person without any trial. This act was also known as Black Act by Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhiji campaign against the Dash was in response to the British censorship of the press and detention without trial. Options are British rule, World War One, Rowlatt Act, Jallianwala Bagh massacre. So I guess the answer you are right in thinking is Rowlatt Act. So Gandhi's Rowlatt Act Satyagraha was the first national level movement against the Rowlatt Act. This was done in response to the British government enacting the Anarchical and Revolutionary Offences Act in 1919. This act empowered the British censorship of the press and suppressing other political activities by the government. So, do remember the answer is Rowlatt Act. So, I hope the questions we are doing currently these will help you and you will never forget anything about Rowlatt Act and later on also about Jallianwala Bagh massacre. So, a question is there: the which of the following statement regarding the Jallianwala Bagh incident is incorrect? Jallianwala Bagh incident took place after the Chauri Chaura incident, in which a large group of protesters clashed with the police. This incident happened on 13th April 1919 when the public had gathered in a meeting at Jallianwala Bagh. The Jallianwala Bagh incident was a result of Rowlatt Act of March 1919, which empowered the government to imprison anyone without trial. Brigadier General Dyer opened fire on the gathered people without informing anyone. So options are in front of you. Try to think about it. I guess the answer you are looking for is in front of you because this is very simple one. The answer is option A. The Jallianwala Bagh incident took place after the Chauri Chaura incident, in which a large group of protesters clashed with the police. Regarding Jallianwala Bagh massacre, statement in option A is wrong because the incident took place on 13th April 1919 in Amritsar, Punjab, while Chauri Chaura incident took place on February 4, 1922, in which large crowd of peasants set fire on the police station in Chauri Chaura, killing 22 policemen. Chauri Chaura is a town in Gorakhpur district of Uttar Pradesh. So do remember the answer is uh, A option. Which of the following British police policies triggered people to assemble at Jallianwala Bagh, Amritsar? Very simple one. Options are in front of you. Rowlatt Act, Simon Commission, Government of India Act, It's India Act. And I guess the answer you are looking for is quite correct because we have already done a lot of questions in this matter. So the answer is Rowlatt Act. So Rowlatt Act, the Black Act, was passed on March 10, 1990, authorizing the government to imprison or confine without any trial any person associated with seditious activities. This led to nationwide unrest. On 13th April 1919, General Reginald Dyer led a group of British soldiers to Jallianwala Bagh, a walled public garden in the Sikh holy city of Amritsar. Thousands unarmed civilians, including men, women, and children, gathered to celebrate the eve of Baisakhi. Viewing the gathering as a violation of the prohibitionary orders on public assembly, General Dyer ordered his troops to open fire. According to officials' figure, the 10 minutes of firing resulted in 379 dead and more than 1,000 injured. Later on, Sardar Udham Singh took the revenge of this thing, and he particularly went to London and killed the O'Dwyer, who was the governor of Punjab at that time, and who ordered Reginald Dyer to take some action against these people. So this was all done, and Rowlatt Act was the particular reason after which Jallianwala Bagh massacre happened. Which honor did Gandhiji return in protest of the Jallianwala Bagh massacre? Very important question this is. Try to think about this. Options are Kesare Hind, Jewel of the Commonwealth, Shere Hind, Noor Hind. So I think the answer of this question is in front of you because the answer is Kesare Hind. So in 1920, as a sign of protest, Gandhiji returned the Kesare Hind medal, which was awarded to him by the British Empire. One of the reasons for this act was the massacre of unarmed and non-violent protesters at Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar, Punjab on 13th April 1990. So basically, Gandhiji was given a lot of honors from the Britishers. One honor was given because uh, he also called as a recruitment sergeant by the people in a sarcastic way, as he was the one who particularly asked the Indians to help Britishers in First World War. And in respect of that, Britishers gave him the Kesari Hind. But when the Jallianwala Bagh massacre was done, this title was given back by Mahatma Gandhi. Also, if I like to add something, so Rabindranath Tagore also gave up the title of Sir or knighthood back to the Britishers after this incident. And as I said, the question is there. So Rabindranath Tagore returned his knighthood award because of Jallianwala Bagh massacre, Kakori episode, Chauri Chaura episode, execution of Bhagat Singh. Try to think about it. And I just said in the last question about it, answer is Jallianwala Bagh tragedy. On 3rd June 1915, Nobel laureate, Bangla writer and poet Rabindranath Tagore was given the knighthood title by the British government. Earlier in 1913, he also got a Nobel Prize for his book Gitanjali. But in agitation against the famous Jallianwala Bagh massacre, he returned the knighthood title. Knighthood title is also known as Sir title. In 2024, this year only, Bharti Mittal, the chairman of Airtel, was also provided the honor of knighthood. Who killed General Dyer, who was responsible for Jallianwala Bagh massacre? Chandrasekhar Azad, Sardar Udham Singh, Bhagat Singh, Surya Sen. So try to think about this person. And this question is quite simple one because we all have seen the film based on this recently. The answer is Sardar Udham Singh. So after 21 years of Jallianwala Bagh massacre, Sardar Udham Singh on 13 March 1940 shot Michael O'Dwyer in London, Caxton Hall. Michael O'Dwyer was the person who was the governor of Punjab province at the time the Jallianwala Bagh massacre was done. Please do remember that he was not the one who killed my Ragnar Dyer. That was the person who uh, particularly executed the order. Jallianwala Bagh massacre took place on 15th August 1919, 20th December 1919, 13th April 1919, 25th May 1919. Try to think about it. And quite simple one because it was the eve of Vaisakhi. Answer is 13th April 1919. So, Jallianwala Bagh massacre took place on 13th April 1919 to protest against the detention of pro-Indian independence leaders Dr. Saifuddin Kichlu and Dr. Satyapal. The British Brigadier General Reginald Dyer surrounded the Bagh with his soldiers and ordered them to fire. Estimate killed people were 379 and almost 1200 injured. So, the answer is 13th April 1919. Very important question this one. Which committee was set up by Lord Chelmsford to engine in to Jallianwala Bagh incident in 1919? Options are Herschel Committee, um, Mac, McLagan Committee, Modiman Committee, or Hunter Committee. Try to think about it. So I guess you must have heard about this committee. Answer is Hunter Committee. On 14th October 1919, after the order issued by Edwin Montagu, Secretary of the State of India at that time, as we know that in 1919 another reform came that was also known as Montague-Chelmsford. Montague was the secretary, Chelmsford was the viceroy. So Government of India announced the formation of Committee of Inquiry into events called Jallianwala Bagh Incident, later widely known as Hunter Commission. Jallianwala Bagh massacre took place on 13th April 1919. Please add one more thing into this, that Hunter Commission that was organized earlier during the 19th century was also related to the education system, because Hunter Commission was also there that gives the recommendation regarding education system also, and Hunter Committee is also related to Jallianwala Bagh massacre. In which of the following cities is the famous Jallianwala Bagh located? Options are Panipat, Ambala, Amritsar, or Patna. And I guess the answer you are giving is quite right, because the answer is Amritsar. So the famous Jallianwala Bagh is located in the city of Amritsar. On 13th April 1919, the British Army led by General Reginald Edward Dyer opened fire and killed hundreds of unarmed Indians. So Amritsar was the place which is particularly known, famous for two very major particular places. One is the Golden Temple and the other one is the Jallianwala Bagh. In which of the following cities did the Jallianwala Bagh massacre took place? Bhatinda, Jalandhar, Amritsar, Patiala. We just did this, so think about it. And as we know, the answer is quite simple. The answer is Amritsar. So, Jallianwala Bagh massacre, also called the massacre of Amritsar, was an incident on 13th April 1919 in which British troops fired on a large crowd of unarmed Indians in an open space known as the Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar, Punjab. So, the answer of this question is Amritsar. On which date Jallianwala Bagh massacre take place? 30th April 1919, 13th April 1990, 30th April 1920, or 13th April 1920? So think about it. So to do this question, you need to require two information. One is it was happened on the eve of Baisakhi. That means either the option would be B or D. And the other thing that you need to know, that this particular thing happened just after Rowlatt Act came. So the answer is quite clear. So the answer is 13th April 1919. Jallianwala Bagh massacre, an incident which took place on 13th April 1919, in which British troops fired on large crowd of unarmed Indians in an open space known as Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar, Punjab. Jallianwala Bagh massacre took place during the term of Viceroy Lord Ripon, Lord Chelmsford, Lord Dalhousie, Lord Irwin. Try to think about it, guys. Very simple question this is. And I guess you are quite clear here, because at that time, a act also came that was known as Montague-Chelmsford reforms. Montague was the Secretary of State, Chelmsford was the Viceroy. So Lord Chelmsford was the person who was the Viceroy at that time. So Lord Chelmsford, 1916 to 21, was the Viceroy of India when Jallianwala Bagh massacre took place on 13th April 1919 in Amritsar, Punjab. Other than this, Lucknow Pact, Champaran Satyagrah, Montague August Declaration, Government of India Act 1919, also known as Montague-Chelmsford Reforms, Rowlatt Act 1919, and launch of non-cooperation and Khilafat movement are also related with Lord Chelmsford. So the answer is B. Jallianwala Bagh tragedy was directly result of the protest against Defense of India Act, Rowlatt Act, Montague Chelmsford reforms, Maudley Minto reforms. So the answer of this question is quite simple. The answer is Rowlatt Act. So Jallianwala Bagh massacre took place on 13th April 1919. It was a mass protest against the famous Rowlatt Act and also the detention of Dr. Saifuddin Kichlu and Dr. Satyapal. Hence, people gathered on the day of Baisakhi in Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar, Punjab, and General Reginald Dyer ordered for open fire upon public. So this act was also known as Black Act, and it was called by Mahatma Gandhi. And also, some newspaper called it No Dalil, No Vakil, No Appeal Act. For his involvement in Jallianwala Bagh massacre, Michael Francis O'Dwyer was assassinated by Chandrasekhar Azad, Mangal Pandey, Bhagat Singh, Udham Singh. Try to think about it. So the answer is Sardar Udham Singh. So Jallianwala Bagh massacre took place on 13th April 1919 when the troops of British Indian Army under the command of General Reginald Dyer, fired bullets into the crowd of Vaisakhi pilgrims who had gathered in Jallianwala Bagh. Udham Singh was a revolutionary and freedom fighter belonging to the Ghadar Party. Ghadar Party was founded in 1313 in San Francisco. He assassinated Michael O'Dwyer, the former Lieutenant Governor of Punjab, on 13 March 1940. To avenge the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, Udham Singh was hanged on 31st July 1940 at Pentonville prison, and his ashes were brought back by the Prime Minister of India in the years 1970s, that was Indira Gandhi, and they are placed in Jallianwala Bagh. And that's it in this session. I hope you learned a lot of things with me in this session, and you will never forget anything about the Rowlatt Act or Jallianwala Bagh. I will meet you in the next session in which we will discuss some other topics related to modern history. And till then, keep learning, keep sharing. Bye bye. Take care, everyone, and see you soon.